Welcome you all to IELTS Speaking Aid 1 month course. This is the official introduction of our July month batch. My name is Lakman Madhusank and I'll be your teacher for this entire month. Let's go forward with details of our courses as well as the IELTS speaking test. By watching till the end of this video, you will be able to understand the basics requirement of IELTS speaking exam as well as the way you should practice for gaining your required band score. When we are talking about IELTS Speaking Aid, our institute, we have established our institute back in 2021 as this IELTS Speaking Aid, but prior to that also, we were in teaching entire 4 components, IELTS reading, listening, writing and speaking, but we got to know that all other 3 components, writing, reading, listening, there are no much requirement like speaking. Most of the students are facing such issues with their fluency as well as speaking component. Also, most of the students are repeating their exam because of they couldn't able to achieve their speaking band score. In that case, we established this specific platform for you to practice and gain your required band score. Right now, we have our YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, our WhatsApp group, as well as our website. Our website these days under maintenance because we are feeding newer questions for IELTS speaking test. So you can enroll free mock test in our website. Whenever it will be ready, I will inform you as well. But right now, we have our WhatsApp group, which we are conducting daily basis sessions, and also we are uploading all of the sessions into our YouTube channel. So if you're following our YouTube channel and our WhatsApp group, it means you will be able to get free courses as well as participate into our free classes. And also throughout our classes, we have taught to more than 1,000 students, and also most of them have taken their required band score. Generally, your requirement may be vary in between band score 5 to 7. 7 might be the maximum band score for most of the students because if you are migrate as registered nurse, your requirement is band score 7, but in some extent you may require more than band score 7 as well. Whichever your requirement is, you can align to your requirement by participate into our class. Let's see why I am saying like that. So you can see some example of our students' comments. There are a lot of comments in our Facebook channel through their recommendations and comments. You can check on there as well. Here you can see only few of these comments. Let's go forward with the next slide. This is the main problem, or maybe I can say main question most of the students are asking from us. Why we are only teaching speaking? And most of the students are seeking for some classes who teaching entire 4 sections, reading, listening, writing and speaking. Yeah, yes, there are a lot of classes in Sri Lanka like that. They are saying that they are teaching all 4 components. But the thing is, if you participate into such classes, speaking part might be the missing part in those classes because there are not enough time for learning speaking in there. And also if it is not one group class, if they have a lot of students, you will not get any chance for continuous mock test practicing and also getting your band score, also getting some comment from the teacher. That's why here we are conducting this class as group class as well as only for speaking. Throughout this entire month, you will practice with us. You will face a lot of mock test. You will get your band score. Through that, you can track your progress as well. At end of the month, you can understand what's your progress as well as what's your current band score. By knowing that, you can start self-studies or maybe you can proceed with your IELTS exam as well. So here in our class, we will teach you how to do self-studies as well as self-evaluation. Self-evaluation also quite important for you to get some idea about your current level. Because when it's coming to reading and listening, also writing, you can literally check your answers and you can get some idea about your mistakes. But when it's coming to speaking, most of us are unable to understand what kind of mistakes are there. There should have someone to assist you. That's why in our class, we are assisting you individually for gaining your required band score as well as understanding your mistakes. So plus thing is, it's very rare to find a dedicated IELTS speaking class in Sri Lanka, as I mentioned, dedicated for speaking. There are a lot of IELTS classes, but they don't have any class dedicated for speaking component. Second thing is speaking requires continuous practice. As I mentioned, it's required a lot of mock test practices as well as understanding the speaking patterns and type of questions coming in the exam. Then whichever question you will get in your real exam, you will be able to face that properly. Third thing is there is a lot to learn to achieve your dream band score. Lot to learn means actually you have to understand this exam pattern. Some questions are there which not much familiar to us. If you are getting such questions, even though if you are fluent in English, you may not be able to deliver good answer because lack of idea. So we have to be familiar with this kind of questions. That's why we have scheduled this class with proper syllabus. Fourth thing is most of the students are struggling with speaking. As I mentioned earlier, most of the students are repeating their IELTS exam just because of cannot able to getting their required band score for speaking component. So to overcome that situation, we are teaching here speaking for entire 1 month. Also, you will be able to practice with us. These are the reasons that we are conducting this class only for speaking. We also can conduct with other three components, then speaking will be the lacking part. So if you really need to be fluent, if you really need to gaining your required band score for your speaking, or maybe if you really need to enhance your speaking level, then this is the place for you to start your speaking practice. This is the test structure for speaking. There are three parts: part 1, part 2, part 3. Part 1 we are considering as introduction and interview, or maybe we are saying general questions about ourselves. Most of the questions are related to ourselves. We can give proper answers, and part 1 lasts longer for 4 to 5 minutes. So within these 4 to 5 minutes, you will get around 8 number of questions with 2 to 3 different sectors, different type of questions. In part 2, we are saying individual long turn. As you know, this is the cue card section. They have 1 minute for you to be prepared and 2 minutes to speak up. So in part 1, examiner asking questions verbally, but in part 2, in cue card, examiner will give you the question in a paper so you can read it and you can be prepare yourself within that 1 minute. In part 3, again, examiner will ask questions verbally. This is like two-way discussion. Examiner is trying to build up some discussion with you. Sometimes examiners are asking cross questions based on your answers. This part 3 also lasts longer for 4 to 5 minutes. And this part 3 actually little bit of related to your cue card question. So there may have some questions related to the cue card in some way. So in part 3, most of the questions are not related to ourselves. It's asking about general society. As example, part 3 questions may ask about people, older generation, younger generation, likewise. So we have to give more abstract answers in part 3. This is the test structure in speaking test, and you can see this 4 to 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes again. So altogether you will get maximum 11 to 14 minutes of speaking test. That's the maximum you are considering or maybe consuming for finish your entire speaking test. And if you never have seen this one, this is something worth to check. You can check this sheet as band descriptor. If you are searching in Google, definitely you will be able to find this one, the full form. Here I have read off from band 5 to below. Here I have mentioned only 6, 7, 8 and 9 band scores. And here you can see there are 4 marking criteria on the top of the sheet: fluency and coherence, lexical resources, grammatical range and accuracy, pronunciation. If you really need to understand to get your required band score, what kind of level you should maintain, this is the sheet you should refer. Say suppose you require to get band score 7. So if you need band score 7, you have to check what kind of requirements or maybe what kind of level are they expecting from you to give you band score 7. Otherwise, you may think that you are in band score 7, but you may not. So in our class, we will thoroughly explain and we will understand about this band descriptor and its requirement. So then you will be able to understand your current level as well. But if not participate into class afterward this video, if you are thinking about self studies, then please check this one on internet and try to find out this band descriptor and refer it. Then you will be able to understand properly. What will you learn in our class? First thing is IELTS is speaking based on syllabus. If somebody is saying that there are no any syllabus for IELTS speaking, that's a lie. I already mentioned this on band descriptor. So they have kind of requirements you to fulfill. So based on this requirement as well as based on IELTS patterns, tips and kind of tricks you can apply in your exam, we have generated our syllabus. In the syllabus, actually, there are not only grammar components, there are theory sections as well as practical. So practical means mock test. Second thing is IELTS speaking patterns, exam tips and tools. First thing is there are patterns you should understand. Question patterns in part 1, part 2 and part 3 there are question patterns to understand. If you can properly understand these patterns, then you will be able to give proper answers for any of question in IELTS exam. Exam tips, there are a lot of tips to apply. Say suppose you are in a position that don't know what to say, even though if you can understand the question, there may have some situation that you cannot think about any answer. In that kind of positions, what kind of things you should do to avoid reducing marks? There are a lot of tips that you can apply. And also tools. Tools means in part 1, part 2 and part 3, there are separate tools that you can apply for generating high level of answer. So here by applying these tools, you can deliver high level of answer that gain you higher marks for your speaking section. Third thing is continuous mock test and speaking practice. I can say mock test is one of key point for IELTS speaking. If not practicing mock test and if participate into your or maybe if face to your exam, then you may in kind of pressurized environment because you are not familiar with this exam. But if participate into mock test and if practice in mock test, then definitely you will be able to be confident and overcome this nervous situation, and also you will be able to understand exactly what will happen in your real exam and speaking practice. Throughout our mock test, actually we are evaluating your answers and we are giving you a band score as well daily basis. So by getting your band score, you can have your individual track record. That also something important. Fourth thing is time management. Time management is one key point or maybe key requirement that you should practice and follow in order to give proper answers for part 1, part 2 and part 3. Mainly when it's coming to the cue card section, time management is crucial. And you will get this kind of opportunities in our class. First thing is they have our pre-group, pre-WhatsApp group, as speaking and listening group. Here there are around 700 members right now, and we are conducting daily basis classes in there. You can join with those classes as well. Second thing is our Telegram channel, which we have included a lot of IELTS materials, not only for speaking. There are materials related your writing, reading, listening tasks as well. Lot of PDS books, lot of audio files. This is one earlier screenshot, but right now there are lot more files that you can access freely. And third thing is you will get recordings of every day's classes. So whether you participate into the class, whether you miss the class, it doesn't matter. You can watch back the recording and clear or maybe clarify your problems regarding the things learning in the class. Okay, let's talk about the cost. First thing is our this main class, 1 month class, and also we are talking about July month, this month batch. Course duration 1 month. 1 month means actually there are around 14 to 15 number of classes. But if they have enough time, definitely I will give some additional classes as well. It's happening in every batches till I will start the next month batch. In between that period, I will give some extra classes. Not promising, but definitely that will be there. Timing and hours. This batch will continue every Monday, Wednesday and Friday from 8:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. I have conducting this class as one night class just because of most of the students are working, nurses or maybe some, maybe say suppose students, even though some other workers. So you will not be free in daytime. That's why I have scheduled this one in night time. Daily cue card practice in the evening. This practice is actually happening around 4 o'clock every day. This cue card practice is not linked with this main class, but still you can join there and you can practice. If you're free, you can join there. If you're not free, totally fine. You can join whenever you're free. But these practice sessions are ongoing daily basis in weekdays. an extra individual mock test before to your speaking test date. It means, say suppose this 1 month course will be finished and you will face the exam afterward 1 month or maybe later on. It doesn't matter if you mention that one or maybe if you inform that one to us. Definitely I will give you one specific individual mock test before to your speaking date, that covering most probable questions or maybe predicted questions, as well as to enhance your confidence, as well as rid of your nervousness. Also, I haven't mentioned here. One thing is there. I will give you exam predictions. Predictions means whenever you are facing to your exam, I will give short out questions in part one cue card, as well as in part three. Obviously, whenever I am giving cue cards, you have to refer part three as well. So most of the time, these predicted questions are coming in your real exam. You just need to put some extra focus on the questions which I will give to you before to your exam. So that predictions quite important, as well as helpful for you to sort out your stress, as well as expecting some questions from that list. Cost fee for all of these is 7,000, as you have seen in our advertisement as well. Registration, you can pay this amount and you can share the payment slip to us, and registration form will be shared afterward, one Google form. Also, you will be added to our WhatsApp group of July month batch. If you need payment details, just put one message in WhatsApp or Facebook, wherever, then you can get payment details, bank details, and you can pay. Apart from that, they have one pathway course. This is one actually, say suppose discount. Pathway course plus 1 month course. Pathway course we have planned mid of this month, but you can participate into that whenever it will start. Only 1,500 extra you have to pay if you need to participate into this pathway course as well. This pathway course will be 1 week course. See, it means 6 days of course. You will understand basic requirement of IELTS exam. If, say suppose you are a beginner, then you will be able to understand what kind of things you should do to enhancing your fluency in terms of IELTS exam. If you feels that you need some guidance as your beginner, then you can enroll in pathway course, as this is one discount, but this discount will expire whenever we will start our class, which means 10th of July. If you need to join it pathway course, otherwise you can just pay the 7,000 and you can join with the 1 month course. Apart from that, they have one more option, that our individual classes. Say suppose you have already have booked your exam, you have very limited time, or maybe say suppose you feels that you need some extra attention from the teacher, then you can enroll in individual classes. This is one class which you can customize the time, as well as which you can customize number of classes that you are enrolling in. But I strongly suggest you, if you enroll in individual classes, at least you have to enroll 5 classes for see some improvement. If you are a person who in our 1 month course, it totally fine, even though if you can take 1 to 2 classes as you prefer, but this is optional to have some extra practice, as well as have some extra attention from myself to you. Then you can enroll in this. This is not compulsory. This is for fast track your speaking, or maybe boost up your speaking level. Timing and hours, you can pick a feasible time, and this is 1 hour individual class to improve your level. 1 hour means actually we will conduct one mock test in the class. We will evaluate the mock test in the same class, as well as I will give you ideas, instructions, advices based on the mistakes on that mock test. Also, you will get your band score as well. Course fee 1,000 per session, so you can pick whichever number of sessions as you like, but you have to schedule with me prior, because I am conducting individual classes, so I have to schedule my time as well. These are the main requirements, as well as main information about our IELTS Speaking Aid 1 month course, pathway class, as well as individual class. I think still I am talking in English. Most of you can understand what I am saying. This is quite basic English I am using here. So I prefer that you can understand this one. Otherwise, I have to explain in Sinhala, but I believe that's not required here. So let's go forward. Is it hard, or have you failed before? First thing is, continued practice is a must. If you have failed in your speaking before, you cannot wait leisurely and you cannot expect to face your exam again. You just need to practice. Practice is the key point for speaking. Without practice, it doesn't matter how many grammar components have you learned, or maybe say suppose you are participate into class that teaching grammar daily basis. It doesn't matter. It will helpful, but it will not increase your fluency as well as your speaking. So you just need to practice. Be familiar with the exam requirements. So you have to understand what kind of questions are there, as well as what kind of things that examiners are expecting from you to have in your cue card, as well as other answers in IELTS speaking test. If you can understand that one, and if you can align your level with that requirements, then definitely you will be able to get to a required band score or higher band score. That what we are doing in our class, aligning your requirements with your level of speaking. Third thing, learn from listening to yourself. It means always whenever you are doing self studies, try to record yourself and listen back to your answers. By recording and listening back, definitely you will be able to understand your mistakes that you cannot find out while you are speaking. Mock tests are the real deal. So in our class, as I mentioned, we have series of mock tests and evaluations, including band score, that's really required for you to be familiar with IELTS exam, as well as be fluent in IELTS type of questions. Listen often. Listen often mean actually try to listen English songs, podcast, as it's required for your listening tasks as well, or maybe watching movies, kind of things you can do for enhancing your vocabulary, grammatical components, as well as fluency. Also pronunciation. Listening is something that you can use for enhancing all four marking criterias. Stay motivated. The last requirement, you just need to stay motivated. Or maybe if you have faced your exam earlier, try not to demotivate if it is like not kind of good experience for you. Or maybe if you have some difficulties on increasing your level, try not to demotivate. Instead of demotivating, you just need to pull hard little bit just to increasing your level, or maybe aligning the level you require. So I believe most of you already have understood what kind of class this is and what kind of things will going on inside the class. Also, I believe you have got one answer for the question that most of you are asking, why we are teaching only speaking. This is one unique class in Sri Lanka which you cannot find out anywhere else, that dedicated for your speaking component. Because maybe some students are there, they just try to find out some class which covering all four components. But before going with those classes, try to find out some students who already have enrolled in these courses. Definitely you will get one answer that they are saying they will not cover speaking component too much. They will cover writing, reading and listening most probably, which you can do even in self studies, but the main requirement will not cover in those classes. That's why we have prepared this IELTS Speaking Aid 1 month course for you to enhance your speaking level. Okay. If you have any questions, I will definitely answer for that. You can comment on this YouTube video, or maybe you can reach us through our WhatsApp, or maybe our Facebook, whichever it is you can use for reaching us. And this class will start on 10th this month. It means we have only 5 more days. And now registration is open. You can ask for payment details and you can get registered. Only 15 number of members will be allocated into this class. As I mentioned, this is one group class, so I have to conduct a lot of mock tests. If I'm taking more than 50 number of members for this group class, it will not be possible for me to give you mock test. That's why I'm conducting this is as one group class. So registration often, will meet in the class. Also, subscribe our YouTube channel. Definitely you will get daily basis IELTS speaking tips, tricks and our sessions you can watch. By watching also you can learn something. Then we'll meet in the course.